Off the coast of Belize, in the deep ocean, a watery congregation gathers. No one knows why this place in the Caribbean draws these dwellers of the deep. Incredibly, at this moment each year, these waters fill with life.
Thousands of fish, about 5,000 fish are down here.
Fish just right next to each other, circling.
Impressive. Finally, we see the big school.
These are more than just fish, more than just schools of fish. These are miles of fish. And among them, the largest, most mysterious fish of all, a giant shark that comes calling when the moon is full. 25 miles off the coast of Belize in Central America, beyond the second largest reef on Earth, lies a coral formation known as Gladden Spit. Each spring, Gladden becomes a stage for giants and for one of the most mysterious rituals in the ocean. But it is no mystery to local fishermen that these waters are exploding with fish. Traditional hand lines always land a rich catch. And those same traditions tell of a giant lurking just beneath the waves. Now, these local fishermen are forming an alliance with scientists who want to understand the unique nature of these waters. Base camp takes shape on a remote island. Camp must be self-sustaining. Leading the expedition for the Nature Conservancy is marine biologist Dr. Will Heyman. He wants to understand why Gladden Spit attracts so many species of fish. Unraveling the mysteries of the sea is his life's work.
When I was growing up, my dad said to me, he said, "You're going to work for about 40 years. He said, "You better choose something that you like." And that was the best piece of advice I ever got from anybody because I love fish. And so I spent a lot of time looking at fish, studying fish, thinking about fish, and trying to understand how they breed, how they live, and how to protect them.
Not at this time of the morning.
A marine biologist, Rachel Graham hopes to learn why the largest shark in the ocean, the 30-foot, 10-ton whale shark, is drawn to these waters.
We want to find out a lot more about this relatively elusive and rarely seen largest fish of the ocean.
Master navigator Eloy Cuevas is a key member of the team. Success or failure depends on his knowledge of these rough waters.
Northeast wind, when it's blowing like 20, 25 knots, man, nobody want to go out there. It's a very dangerous place.
For 20 years, Eloy fished these unpredictable seas. And he told Will Heyman about the annual wonders of Gladden Spit. Gladden Spit is a promontory, a wall of coral that drops off into seas more than a mile deep, and it is about to erupt with life. For it is April, and the moon is full. The undersea gatherings begin in the moments before sunset. Sonar tells Eloy he's found the sweet spot he's been searching for.
It's a lot of fish. It's thousands of fish. I would say about 5,000 fish are down here right now. Really a lot of fish.
For Will and Rachel, the window of opportunity is narrow. With darkness near, these dangerous waters can turn treacherous, but it's a risk worth taking. At least that's what they hope. Now Eloy's vigil begins. Will and Rachel dive into what might be the largest congregation of fish in the Caribbean. Fish by the thousands, 26 different species gathered in this one special place. Rachel disappears into the thick schools in search of an even larger prize. The danger for the divers is losing themselves in their work, especially when aggressive bull sharks appear. Topside, Eloy studies the waters. Unruly seas are building. Currents below are strong. Will and Rachel could easily lose view of each other. Eloy strains to follow them by tracking their bubbles.
Yeah, it's not an easy job, following the divers, just following the bubbles, because when it's rough like this, it's very difficult. Because even the wave breaking sometimes look just the same as the bubbles coming up,
But the divers continue to follow the fish. And following them, a giant emerges from the gloom. Rachel finds what she's been searching for, a 30-foot whale shark.
To see such large animals that are so curious and even playful to such an extent, I think they like to try and maybe scare you with their size, but at the same time, they're very kind. They never really actually bump into you physically. They always avoid you at the very last minute, but they love to cavort around you.
The easygoing giants float in, signaled by some mysterious call. Whatever has drawn them here puzzles Rachel. Though the secret dance of Gladden Spit has only just begun, the waters grow dark. And the divers can't risk being down any longer. Eloy spots them, but getting them back into the boat can be tricky with a 10-ton giant swimming past.
I was just right next to the boat, and the whale shark just came swimming right in and just slammed right into my arm. It just kind of wedged me right in between the boat. Man, oh man, it whacked the hell out of me. It hurts like hell.
Will and Rachel have witnessed the opening ceremony for one of the most extraordinary events in the world's oceans. But they suspect that much more lies in store. After dark, they use the day's video to confirm that Gladden's yearly ritual has begun.
You've got some thank you loves.
Oh, great.
The more they see, the more questions they have. It will be a restless night before they can go out again, searching for answers.
What we want to find out here off the Barrier Reef is how large the whale shark population is. Are all of these sharks actually moving together? Is there any form of social movement, social migration?
Will has the same kinds of questions on his mind as he sets out the next day. Just how important is Gladden Spit to the rest of the world's oceans? So much depends on the fish that fill these waters. They feed the osprey's young, and they feed the local population. But Gladden's abundance is unusual. In other parts of the Caribbean, catches appear to be declining.
Oh man.
All right.
Will wants to understand why this place is so different. So do Gladden's fishermen, and they're quick to help Will with his work.
That's the biggest one of the whole bunch.
The fish are given ID tags. Will hopes that they will be caught and the tags returned. Learning where the fish travel will help him to understand how Gladden's marine life is linked to the world's oceans.
All right, this is the first one with the radio tag.
Will also deploys acoustic tags. They transmit to receivers anchored on the sea bottom, recording the fish's movements.
And...
But in these waters, the scientists and the fishermen face serious competition. A shark attacks a catch and quickly circles around for more. Often half of a day's work gets swallowed by sharks. And fishermen are quick to take revenge. This shark won't be stealing any more fish. Despite the attacks, fishermen still bring in the big ones. That's why local fishermen join with the scientists. Their lives depend on these waters. By keeping tabs on each catch, Will and Rachel learn that these snappers are big and healthy. A very good sign. At the next full moon, the team returns to the deep waters. The scientists hope to find new clues about why so many species of fish come here to reproduce. Dog snappers are schooling fish, but under the influence of the full moon, they gather together in staggering numbers. Then they systematically begin parading, forming stunning columns some 15 feet wide and hundreds of feet long. Will and Rachel are the first scientists to ever witness the climax of these stately processions. The gigantic tubes of fish stream toward the surface, up and up. Then, just beneath the waves, females spawn. They lay eggs by the millions as males molt, releasing their sperm. Incredibly, they maintain order and the ritual goes on. The snappers swim back down the tube and queue up to spawn again. The upwelling rush of fish drives the fertilized eggs to the surface.
Wow, look at that white, huh? Huge! Look at that. Wow.
A carpet of spawn floats up, literally changing the color of the ocean. And headed straight for it, whale sharks. Rachel must dive to get a closer look and to collect fertilized
It's
eggs.
so incredibly milky that it's difficult to see, A, the fish that are spawning, and they tend to be rather aggressive. They've got extremely large teeth, and they don't like to be watched when they're spawning.
But what Rachel sees stuns her. sharks are eating the spawn. Rachel and Will have hit on one of the best-kept secrets in the sea, that some of the largest sharks on Earth come to Gladden Spit to feast on the tiniest food imaginable. Eggs 30% smaller than anything the big fish is known to eat. Until now.
Keep getting good counts. Let's see.
We noted that they measured less than a millimeter. So these enormous whale sharks, over 40 feet long, are able to strain particles down to at least 0.7 millimeters, less than 1 millimeter. That's phenomenal.
Perhaps these larvae contain the secret of Gladden Spit. This is how some 26 species, tens of thousands of fish, begin their lives. Why does this magical cycle of rebirth succeed so well in this one special place? It's something Will Heyman is struggling to understand. Will thinks the winds and currents around promontories like Gladden may help the young fish survive.
So basically what we're doing is using these current drifters to look at currents right close to the surface, currents about 3 to 4 meters down, and then we're using a current meter to look at what's happening on the bottom. All right, let's go.
Will collects evidence that suggests that surface currents catch the larvae and drive them behind the reef, where they find food and shelter. But even here there are predators, some whose lives also depend on these currents for sustenance. The ebb and flow of these currents yield to the pull of the full moon. In May, it seems to signal the large Cubera snappers to spawn. These are big fish that can weigh up to 70 pounds. Today, Will and Rachel enlist the help of a dive master. Alfred Williams has long experience in these difficult waters. Unlike the dog snappers that form into neat lines, the huge Cubera gather in deep water, down 140 feet, and form a cyclone that whirls toward the surface, a swarm of 8,000 fish. Near the top, one of the females does something never before recorded. She turns upside down and changes color to white.
The large females, I think it looks like they're attracting the males. They hang upside down like this, and you can see their distended belly ready to spawn. And they hang vertically in the water, just twitching, and sometimes just ripping their body and twitching like that. And then very quickly the males are all over, rubbing all over that, and then turning.
A beautiful one, female, big, laden with roe, twitching, kind of
Jerking almost.
Jerking.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the kind of 5-6 males all around, rubbing her, nuzzling her stomach, and her twitching.
Yeah, super.
Impressive. Finally, we see the big school.
I know it.
After their spawning frenzy, the Cubera cascade down like a fountain, where they swirl upward once again. A single female will deposit tens of thousands of eggs a night for as many as 5 nights. As if on cue, the giants appear. Nearly 24 of them, vanishing in and out of the cottony clouds of new life. They glide back and forth through the water, straining the spawn through specialized gills. With so many whale sharks arriving to feed, the team takes the opportunity to tag them.
Can we go and check that guy again?
The whale shark's skin is like a suit of armor. At nearly 6 inches thick, it is part of a design that has served them well for 200 million years. These creatures may live up to 100 years, and tags like these could supply information for generations of marine biologists. Alfred attaches a different type of tag. These acoustic tags signal the comings and goings of the whale sharks around Gladden. They succeed in tagging 22 of the giants, and it's not long before information starts pouring in.
Woo, look at that! Well, we found some really exciting stuff today. Our only fingered shark, which is number 50, and it's an immature male, and he's quite small too. He's about 14 feet. We tagged this guy on about the 27th of April, and he hung around for a few days, about 3 or 4 days, at the spawning aggregation site, and then he left completely. He decided to go somewhere else until about the 15th of May, at which point he decided that maybe it was time to come back for the good food at Gladden, which is really the few days that are bracketing the full moon.
And when the moon is again full, Rachel rounds out her research. She and Alfred deploy a high-tech tag that uses satellites to track the world's largest shark all over the globe. Rachel hopes to one day draw a complete portrait of Gladden's mysterious shark, perhaps even explaining how the giants find their way here and how they know when dinner is being served. The team has solved one of Gladden's many riddles, that the whale sharks come here to feed on spawn. They've witnessed Gladden's extraordinary processions, discovered that whale sharks are capable of diving some 2,000 feet, and that currents help make this place one of the most important spawning grounds in the Caribbean.
I love Gladden Spit. It's my favorite place in the world. I can't tell you how excited and how wonderful it feels to see a place so magical and so wonderful and so intact.
It's such a great place for the people of Belize. It's a great industry for fishing, for tourism, and if we could try and protect this place, we the Belizean people, we could have this place forever.
You gotta be about 6. Oh, there's one right on the surface right there. Right behind you.
Incredible. There were dolphins flying over there and a whale shark under us. It was incredible.
No one knows how long Gladden Spit has fostered these ancient rituals, but the unique collaboration of local fishermen and scientists has led the government of Belize to declare this place a marine reserve. These rich waters will continue yielding healthy catches, sustaining the people who make this their home. Generations of fish will continue to spawn here, and this precious place will remain as it is, as it always has been.